Okay guys, here we are with our Cabrio. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be changing the water valve. All I really need for the water valve change is a 1/4-inch screwdriver and a pair of cheap needle nose pliers is what I'm using. So to start, you'll see these 3 screws in the back. We're going to take all 3 of those out. You don't have to really take them all the way out, just kind of get them loose. You'll be able to feel when they come loose. We're going to take this console and we're going to rock it forward. We're just going to lean it over. Now the best thing to do it'd be to go ahead and take this off and get it out the way so it don't accidentally fall or get damaged or anything. So all you have to do for that is find this harness over here that goes to the user interface and just disconnect it from the control. Just like that. We're going to take this and we're going to lay it to the side. Alright, next what we're going to do is we're going to step around to the water valve, and you'll notice that the valve has 2 screws holding it down, one in the middle, over here where the outlets are, and then one over to the side. So we're going to take those out. The one over to the side is probably about half as long as the one in the middle, so you shouldn't be able to get those confused. Just put them back where they came from. I'll give you a look at those screws where you can see the difference. Okay, that's the long one and then the short one. Alright, back to our machine. Alright, the next step is going to be to take the harnesses off of the solenoids. So we're going to pop those off one at a time. It'd be a good idea to write down which one goes to which. If you want to take a permanent marker and write number 1 on the harness and then number 1 on the top of the solenoid. That way you can just match them back up. But anyway, just make sure you put them back where they come from. So we're going to take those off. Okay. Alright, and you can kind of get those out of your way. Next, you're going to want to take the power cord and just pull it up and then lay it over out the way. On this same harness that all these little connectors were on, there'll be a tiny one that's sitting in the middle. You'll want to just pull the tab back on that and lift that thing out, just like that. And then you can lay this whole thing to the side. Okay, the valve now should feel like it's kind of loose, but it's not going to come out yet. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to have to lay the lid back or we can get to the underside of this thing. So you'll have to take the screws out of the hinges. There'll be a screw here, which I've lost. So I'm not going to be able to take that one out, but it's the same thing as this side. So you just take those 2 screws out, and then that'll free the lid up. Okay. So we'll step around to the front and we'll pull it forward. And that should release the lid. You may have to kind of work with it a little bit. Like that. And you'll be able to pick it up. Now this machine is a junker, so I'm not worried about it. But on your machine, you're going to want to lay this up against a wall, something like that, to keep it from folding all the way back. Because when it folds all the way back, it can damage the hinges. And mine are damaged. But anyway, like I said, it's a junker, so I'm not that worried about it. So we're just going to lay this back. Okay. Now we'll step around to this side. Alright. Here are the hoses that go to the bottom of that valve. Likewise with the hoses, you're going to want to, if you got to write a number down and then write, a little number beside where they plug on this metal, do that because you want to make sure that they go to the same place they came from. If you don't, this machine's going to be calling for like if it calls for bleach, it may send water to the fabric softener. So make sure you get these back where they go, or it's not going to be putting water where it needs to be going. So we're going to squeeze these clamps up and just pull the hoses right off. Now on the last one, be prepared for that valve to fall out. Okay, now I'm going to hold it while I turn the lid back over so you can actually see it when it comes out. Okay, now you should be able to grab it and it'll live free from the machine. I'll give you a close-up view of what this looks like. And it's a little more intimidating from what you see when you're just looking at the back. You know, that right there is really all you see when you're looking at it from the back. Once you open it up, it's, you know, there's a lot to it. But anyway, you know, if you got a problem with your detergent not all getting washed out into the tub or something like that, you're gonna need to replace this thing. So anyway, once you figured out that this is bad, you just grab your new one. Okay, then we're going to walk back over to the machine and reinstall it. It's going to be the same process as before except for backwards. We'll slide that down. Now to keep this thing from falling out when I turn it over, I'm just going to go ahead and put these screws back in. Shorter one on the side. Long one in between the outlets, or inlets. Okay, we'll lay our lid back over. We're going to reinstall these hoses. Just like that. Okay, lay the lid back over. We're going to take our wire harness. We're going to put it back over the valve where we can get all these connectors back on. Like I said before, make sure they go to the same place. I can kind of tell by the way the wires is bent where these come from, but don't take my word for it. Just double check on your own, write it down before you do this whole process. That way you'll know where they came from. All right, we're gonna plug all those back on. Okay, then you got the little one in the middle. Okay, and you're gonna want to take the power cord back over here. Slide it back down in the slot. Like that. Okay? Then we're going to go get our console. Lay it up on the machine. Find that connector. Find where it came from on the control cord. Plug it back in. Alright, we're going to lay the console back up. You kind of have to work it sometimes to get it locked down in the right position. Maybe move these screws out the way and maybe bind another one of those just like that. Alright, we're going to tighten this back down. Okay, now we got to lock the lid back down, so we'll be pulling forward again and then kind of push down, and that lid will lock into place, and then you can just push it back. Now my hinges, I've done this take so many times that my hinges are too badly damaged for me to put these screws back in, but this will be the very last step. You'll just take those two screws and screw them back down, and that'll pull this lid back tight, and then you'll be done. And that's how you change a water valve. I want to thank everybody for watching.